Turner's Rebellion was a slave-led rebellion taking place in 1831. Growing up in Southampton County, Virginia, Nat Turner's mother passionately opposed her enslavement and encouraged Nat's pursuit of literacy. Eventually, young Nat became a preacher with a reputation for eloquence. He believed he had been chosen to lead his people out of slavery. In August, Turner judged an eclipse of the sun to be a divine signal for action. Turner led a band of about 80 rebels from farm to farm, killing 60 white inhabitants of all ages by severing limbs and crushing skulls with axes and guns. Though Turner himself hid out for several weeks, eventually he was captured, tried, and hanged. In retaliation, whites killed slaves at random all over the region, including in adjoining states. As many as 200 African Americans, including innocent victims, lost their lives as a result of the rebellion. The rebellion led to slave owners defending slavery aggressively. The debate over the future of slavery in Virginia resulted in a motion for abolition in the state legislature. The Virginia plan debated would not have freed any slaves until 1858, and it provided that eventually all blacks would be colonized outside of Virginia. The motion lost by a 73 to 58 vote. In the end, Virginia opted to do nothing except reinforce its own moral and economic defenses of slavery. Based on interviews held prior to Turner's execution with Thomas R. Gray, a book titled The Confessions of Nat Turner was published, telling Turner's story in a manner which made him seem fascinating. It became a bestseller within a month of Turner's hanging and became one of the most remarkable documents on the subject of American slavery. In the wake of Turner's revolt, many states passed stiffened legal codes against black education and religious practice. Whites' fear of future slave revolts stemmed from their belief that education and privilege inspired revolt. Thus, many slave owners pushed their state legislatures to further tighten controls on African Americans. In 1833, for example, Alabama forbade free and enslaved blacks from preaching the gospel unless respectable slaveholders were present. These controls became known as slave codes. These codes gave slave owners absolute power over their slaves, a step back in the pursuit of civil rights for slaves. The rebellion was a culmination of the unrest surfacing within the slave community in the pre-Civil War era, and raised attention toward the issue of abolition. Although the Virginia plan was a failure, more similar legislation was soon to follow, some of which would have a direct correlation to the outbreak of the Civil War.